Hey, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. My name's Steve, and I'm here with my friend Bobby again. Bobby, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
I wanted to get a second opinion. That's why you're here today. I wanted to get a second opinion. So this video, we're going to talk about kind of what hair loss does to us. This is from a male perspective, obviously, but I know it's very devastating to females as well. I've been talking to people for years, and it's very hurtful, and it is something that is what I consider many times psychologically debilitating. When you're losing your hair, it kind of, in my opinion, kind of takes away a part of you. That's maybe some of your identity. Why don't you share, Bobby? You're a young guy. I think when we met, you were in your mid to a little bit past mid 20s and rocketed it out there. So you might want to share with how that affected you.
Of course, it affected me drastically, Steve. It wasn't feel like myself. I look in the mirror, had my hair falling out at the gym, and a girl I was dating at the time, she was telling me, "Oh, you're losing your hair," and then that's when it hit me, and I was like, "Man, I got to do something about it." Just wasn't confident, and yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of went through the same thing when I was late teens. That's when it hit me, and I had many comments and a lot of anger issues, if you want to call it that, over my identity and kind of who I was and what I was going to be. And for some reason, I couldn't figure it out why I, didn't want to be bald, meaning like shave my head. And I'd have these idiot friends of mine that would be like, "Dude, why don't you just shave your head? You're kind of a built guy. You go to the gym, just shave your head." And I'm going to learn to punch him in the face. And then I realized, it's interesting because you think back on your life, and I realized how I was actually like afraid to look a certain way. Nothing against guys that shave their head. Some guys can rock that look. Not me. And I found that it stemmed early in life in the original series of Superman, which I think the actor's name was Steve Reeves. I know that sounds strange because Christopher Reeve was the modern day, or, a couple 20 years ago, Superman. So in the early days in the Superman on TV, there was an episode where they were out in like Oklahoma, Texas, someplace where they were like drilling for oil. And they were, the machine was going down into the ground. And I guess in this episode or in this TV show, they wanted you to think it was going all the way to the center of the earth. And then when they kind of put the lights out, everybody went back to their barracks or wherever they were staying, and they were going to drill the next day. They had this little door, you close the door, the portal, and then you kind of turn the handle, and you're watching this, and it's like just about dark, and the little circle, the little handle starts turning, and these guys came up from the center of the earth, and they're called mole men. And the mole men were like this tall and had these really big heads, and they were like Norwood 7 bald guys, and they were so scary looking. They weren't really intimidating or mean because they're so little. And there was this little kid, and he was sleeping, or he was trying to go to sleep, and kind of like the window was open, and they're lurking around. I mean, it wasn't their fault that somebody drilled into their house down in the center of the earth. And there's like 6 or 7 of them, and they're walking around, and they're looking in the kid's window. And I mean, I grew up in New Jersey. We didn't have any air conditioning, and on the first floor. And so it's looking at my window like, are the mole men going to come get me? They looked so scary because of these really big heads and these bald heads. And I realized that I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be a mole man. And it was just horrific. And it was just I got a lot of these, and I'll share a lot of this stuff with you guys. We're going to do a lot of stuff on this channel, but the way it hit me was horrific. And I know from speaking to a lot of you out there, it's very hurtful. This is not meant to be funny. I mean, I'm trying to keep it light, but I'm telling my story and what happened to me. And thank you for sharing yours, Bobby. So that's just one of these episodes of Defeating Hair Loss. The good news is we defeated hair loss, and we're going to help you. So like and subscribe. And your channel, Bob?
Oh, yeah. Like I said before in other videos, Steve's been a part of my channel discussing hair and all that. So my channel is Bobby Dunlap, and check me out as well. So